Welcome to this morning's coffee break. I haven't got a coffee. I've got a bottle of water. That's an error. You've got a coffee.
Hey, one of us has got to have a coffee, right? I was absent last week. This week, I'm the one with the Mocha Joe. And I've also got another present for you, Dave. A coffee
You have?
and a corgi. There he is.
Ah, there's Ron. I saw
Hello.
you having a fight with Ron on Instagram.
Oh, with the corgi bum pillow. Yeah, we were having a wrestle, weren't we, Ron? Say hello then. Tell me a secret. Okay, maybe not. He's already had to have a bath this morning because he rolled around in his own poop in the garden, so he's a bit annoyed, but there we are.
Cats, mate. None of that hassle. They wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but...
Oh, so does he. So does he. Don't worry about that. That's
Oh,
fine.
right. Okay, yeah. Good. Yeah, you're selling the idea of a dog to me. Right, anyway, what story have you got for us this week?
It's a good one, Dave. It's another zeitgeisty one. You know, I'm just so up to date. So it's Kim Lyons writing for The Verge, our friends over at The Verge, and it's basically confirmation that TikTok will sue the Trump administration. So TikTok versus Trump, TikTok versus America, whatever you want to call it.
China versus America.
China versus America, yeah. So this news broke on Sunday, talking about the Saturday. TikTok confirmed that it will file a lawsuit against the Trump administration over an executive order demanding parent company ByteDance divest its TikTok operations in the US. And a TikTok spokesman, Josh Gartner, very American sounding name that is, if they want to kind of dissociate from China, Josh Gartner. Even though we strongly disagree with the administration's concerns, for nearly a year we have sought to engage in good faith to provide a constructive solution. What we encountered instead was a lack of due process as the administration paid no attention to the facts and tried to insert itself into negotiations between private businesses. That doesn't sound like Trump. That doesn't sound like
the Trump
Don.
administration paid no attention to the facts.
That doesn't sound like, or,
No.
negligently doing a business deal. This doesn't sound like, senior Donny Trump. It doesn't sound like him at all, to be honest.
So
We can go into more. I'm just trying to find if he says anything more. Josh Gartner. Microsoft has been in talks to acquire TikTok, although co-founder Bill Gates has called a potential deal a poison chalice, and reports suggested to Twitter and Oracle were also in separate talks to take over TikTok. Microsoft said it expected to complete the discussions no later than September 15th, 2020. So there's still this kind of like merging or swallowing up of TikTok that could happen, I guess, but Trump ain't happy.
the funny thing is, right? Last night I watched Brexit and Uncivil War, which was the one with Cumberbatch as Cummings.
Cumberbatch is Cummins, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I hadn't watched it when it was first on telly. Decided to kind of sit down and watch it last night. And obviously a lot of that is about the way that, social can be used in some fairly dark ways. And one of the lines in that is, Facebook knows when you're falling out of love with your significant other really before you do. Because you've got, 2 billion people inputting information into these platforms constantly. On the surface, I actually really love TikTok. I think it's a brilliant platform. And if you think about the way that it's kind of democratizing the creation of content and allowing people to be really quite creative and inventive and funny, I think it's great. It is a massive black hole. I find myself falling down a rabbit hole with it and spending far too long just flicking through videos.
Have you done any TikToks?
No, not really. We tried a couple with Tech Talks, but nothing significant.
TikToks. Cool, that's a mouthful.
Yeah. Exactly. But they are hoovering up a huge amount of data, and I can understand the concerns around who then has access to that data because of what can be done with it. However, you kind of feel that it's more where the Trump administration has an issue with it, it's more because of trade wars with China rather than individual users and protecting people's rights so that they are not used by big tech in a nefarious way.
I mean, what's most surprising about me is this is low-hanging fruit for an easy, campaign trail win. He can win over or attempt to win over a generation by saying, I love TikTok. TikTok loves me. You can TikTok all day long. Or, however he talks. And it's kind of like, it's an unnecessary swipe at China for a power grab for him that no one really cares about. There's a lot more other issues around TikTok, like, you wonder. But the AI in TikTok is homophobic, apparently, right? Or something like that. Like, they've had a lot of issues. Like, deal with him in that regard, not in some kind of nefarious, back-ended business way that no one's really going to be bothered about.
You also wonder how much of it is kind of driven by his own ego, the fact that K-pop fans and TikTok users screwed up his rally, and if he's just pissed off.
Yeah, that could be true.
We're sold out. No, you're not.
I actually got into it with some Trump supporters over the weekend on Twitter, Dave, over, I think, about 50 replies on one of my tweets. So I tweeted back an MMA fighter called Ben Askren, and he said, I really don't like the way Joe Biden touches women on camera. And all I tweeted back was, you're not going to like where Trump grabs women then. And honestly, like, so many right-wing absolute nutters came after me over the weekend, and it was hilarious. It wasn't as good as Dan Walker versus Jack Pierce of 2017 or whatever, but me versus the Trump fans was fun. And so if you're free today, just Jack Pierce 22 on Twitter, you can see me getting a barrage of abuse from some of the world's loveliest people.
You should send Dan a picture of you stroking Ron, just to kind of, throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Wrong animal. Quick one, Jack. You've got an iPhone.
Do, yes.
When you're looking to pay via Apple Pay, have you had issues wearing your face mask?
Such a good point, Dave, because I will go to do it, blocked by the face masks, and I use the passcode then comes in. So I then override it with the passcode to pay rather than take the mask off, because if I take the mask off for a second, I might as well have gone in without it on, right? So that's what I do. Are you telling me there's a... You're going to talk to me about the see-through mask? Don't bring the transparent mask, right?
No, nothing like that. It's just an article in The Guardian, face masks giving facial recognition software an identity crisis. The only concession that so far has been made is that fail-safe of then going over to the passcode has been sped up slightly. There is a little known feature that I wasn't aware of on Apple that you can override it using Express Transit, which is what you use on public transport. You can use that in shops as well. People don't realise that, apparently. I don't have this issue because I don't have an iPhone, and it's less secure. I just wave my phone and it doesn't need my face. But it's an interesting article because it talks a lot about the fact that all of the other kind of secure verifications have been shown to be easily hacked. So irises, etc. You can just print off a picture and show it to the phone. It doesn't work, and it's to do with apparently the depth and the symmetrical nature of your face. And once half of it is covered, it just doesn't work. But there are some really interesting thoughts here, because a lot of the world, a lot of surveillance is done via facial recognition now, and AI recognizing faces in crowds, etc. Which now doesn't work because they can't get around the issue of face masks.
It's interesting. It is interesting because one does think that you are open to more shoplifting and things like that because you can cover up half of your face. Crime could be easier, but you'd like to trust everyone that they're not going to do that. Everyone's struggling at the moment. But I mean, with regards to the payment thing, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You don't even really want to get out your wallet or definitely not cash, as we talked about. Was it on the podcast or this last week? We talked about not paying in cash. One or the other, right? Talk to each other way too much, Dave. But it's kind of like, even with your phone, when you're paying with your phone, most of us have a case on their phone, so it's not just a more secure way, but it's a safer way as well in terms of spreading the virus, one assumes, as long as you go back and clean your phone afterwards, which I sometimes do. If I just reach over here, I've got this little kit to spray the phone down with. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for it. Just don't take your mask off. Just override it with the passcode.
Well, as a very last comment, you are at odds with what Apple thinks will happen, which will people just slightly remove their mask for a second, and that's fine.
Don't do that. Why do that?
Don't do that. Right.
Just...
There we go. Jack's advice: don't listen to Apple. Don't do that.
Don't listen to Apple. Listen to me. Yeah.
That will do for our coffee break. Jack, enjoy your coffee. I'm going to have some water, and we'll catch up with you again next week.